Hi, Mr. Staccone. How are you?
Good, yourselves?
Good. Are you ready for 73 questions?
Oh, sure.
Okay, let's go.
All right.
What are you doing right now?
Well, right now I'm walking with you and talking about 73 questions, but I was just reading Gulag, a book about life in Soviet prison camps.
That's very interesting. What's your favorite thing about Eunice?
My favorite thing about Eunice is the variety of students that you get to meet. We just had the cultural showcase and saw students from different countries showing their cultural talents, mostly music.
Okay, what is your one thing you wish more people knew about you?
One thing I wish more people knew about me is that I like to read books, and it would be great to talk about those books.
Okay. Do you know how many kids are in the high school?
I think 480.
Awesome. What was your favorite subject in high school?
Oh, it was definitely history, for sure.
What do you teach?
I teach history, global politics, and TOK.
Oh, wow. What is your favorite period of history?
My favorite period of history is definitely Soviet history. That's the book I was reading. But also, I really like medieval history.
What are 3 words you would use to describe yourself?
3 words. Well, I'm pretty patient. Sometimes students can be very difficult. But I would also say curious, because I always like to read new things or learn new things. And then at the same time, a 3rd word might be, I don't know, interested in what's happening in students' lives.
What's your favorite dance move?
I don't know if I have very many dance moves. I clearly spent too much time reading growing up.
But if you had one, would you be able to show us?
Well, I thought it was pretty interesting. I watched the Prince of the Netherlands do like a dab, so I think that could be really cool.
So your dab is your favorite?
Dab is my favorite.
Show us
yes.
a dab.
I just did a dab.
Oh. Do you have a favorite sport?
I really like running, so I did cross country and track and indoor track growing up.
What's your favorite book?
My favorite book? Well, I don't know if I could say just one, but I think there's a really great book on the Cold War written by a guy named John Lewis Gaddis.
What's your spirit animal?
Growing up, I would have totally said a dog. I had like a little Sheltie, like a Shetland sheepdog, small collie. But I now have 2 cats that I adopted from China in Shanghai, and I really love them. They love to sit with me while I read, and they're pretty cute. They run around me out for attention, so I think it might be a cat these days.
What are their names?
Scruffles and Plumpers.
Oh, amazing. If you could have any profession in the world besides being a teacher, what would it be?
That's a really good question. I bet it would be something along the lines of writing books, so maybe novels about history, or maybe just plain nonfiction history, or maybe like something in diplomacy.
If you could live in any time period, what would it be?
I would still stick with today. I think people don't quite realize, we hear about all the terrible things, but at the same time, there are a lot of good things that exist in our world today, like the longest life expectancies ever, the greatest ability of consumers to buy things that they want, all sorts of things make our time actually the best. Although philosophically, I'd probably say the Middle Ages, the Renaissance period. That's super fascinating. It'd be great to go back and see how accurate our depictions of history are.
I completely agree. Fall or spring?
Oh my gosh, that's impossible. Well, right now we're in fall, and that's really nice. The beautiful leaves, the changing colors, just went and picked some apples, got some apple pie. But at the same time, I think there's not much that can really compare with spring after you've had a bitterly cold winter and it finally starts to melt and you can smell new plants growing. I think that's really nice.
Summer or winter?
Summer. Winter. Well, definitely not winter, that's for sure. I don't know who likes winter. As winter's grown on me a little bit. Going to Frost Valley with the now top 4s when they were students, I had to do 5 cross-country skiing activities, and that was pretty intense, so I'm not really good at it, but you sort of had to. But I think summer is definitely the best.
Coolest place you've ever traveled to?
Coldest place I've ever traveled to? Well, I would say some parts of northern China can be absolutely freezing. There is an ice festival in one northern Chinese city. It's truly, truly cold there because you carve things out of ice, and it will stay that temperature. They can just leave the ice carvings out and won't melt, so I think probably northern China.
Coolest place you've ever traveled to?
Most interesting.
Most interesting.
Oh, that's impossible. Probably 3 countries I think are the coolest. One is Vietnam, one is Italy, and one was Argentina. I think those were the coolest places I've ever been to. In Vietnam, there was a sort of French colonial presence for a long time, and it's cool to see how like Vietnamese leaders ruled the country independently, and then how there's this like weird cultural diffusion that happens. And then going to the country today, there's like the legacy of the U.S. war in Vietnam. Just a fascinating place.
Where can you go in the school to concentrate?
I don't know if there's a spot you can go in the school to concentrate. I think my desk right there at 417 can be quite nice when it's not too crowded. There aren't too many students, so maybe earlier in the morning or later in the evening after school.
Speed round. What's the best part about being a teacher?
Speed round. Best part of being a teacher is meeting new students.
Dogs or cats?
Both. Cats now, I would say.
What's your favorite food?
Pasta. As you know, just have to say, it's my absolute favorite. Like Alfredo sauce, really good. Italian, grew up that way. Easy choice.
Favorite Eunice classroom?
Not enough for them. How about 418 and 419?
What's the worst part about being a teacher?
Grading papers, absolutely, for sure. I love giving essays, like the look on students' faces when they get the DVQ or the essay is just tangible delight. But then you have to grade them afterwards, and that's the worst part for sure. Hands down.
So what's the best part? Would you say the grading of the essays?
The look on their eyes when you get the essay, that's the best part, I think.
What's your favorite language?
My favorite language? Well, I wish that I spoke French, I'll say, but I do speak Russian and Spanish, and those are pretty cool.
What's your favorite Eunice club?
Well, I'm the faculty advisor for 3 of them, so if I say any one of them, the rest will be unhappy. But either Model UN or Nepal Club.
What's a sport you wish you could play?
Soccer or basketball, for sure. I did both as a child growing up, but I truly have no skill. There's a reason that I had to quit and start doing cross country instead. Hand-eye coordination, not my thing.
Coffee or tea?
I really don't like coffee, and I'll drink tea if it's like there, but I sort of fill it mostly with milk, a little bit of tea, and then some sugar.
I can relate to
flavored
that.
milk.
Do you know the Eunice message?
You mean like the school
The motto.
motto, like a greater world under the auspices of the United Nations, academic excellence, diversity, those sorts of things? Is that true? Yeah. I don't know if I could repeat it verbatim for you, but those are the general ideals.
Best movie?
Best movie? Well, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, like the 2001, 2002, 2003, not the New Hobbit.
Obviously. Best musical?
My Fair Lady, which is out on Broadway, revival. Really good, won some awards, just saying.
Have you gone on any Eunice camping or cabin trips?
Oh yeah, I think I've been on almost all of them. The T1 trip to Frost Valley, the T2 trip to the canoe trip. Been on the IA with you, Summer, actually. Rained quite a bit, I remember, if I can get that correct. Yeah.
If you could fly anywhere in the world right now, where would you go?
Right now, I think I'd probably be interested in going to a new country that I've never been to, but it's on my list, is Japan. I lived in Shanghai for a few years, but I just didn't quite get to Japan. But it'd be super cool to travel there.
Could you name one of your favorite hobbies?
Name one of my favorite hobbies. I really like hiking. So you can get out of the city, go on, hikes to various places. Cold Springs are always a cool one.
What would be the name of your autobiography?
Name of my autobiography? I don't know. Anthony Staccone, A History.
What would be the name of your breakout album?
Breakout album? Whoa. The Tony Awards.
Biggest pet peeve?
Chewing with your mouth open, that one's pretty bad. It's hard to beat that one.
Do you know any cool facts about this school?
Cool facts about the school. This 70 years last year. I feel like sometimes the building is held together by like bits of twine and duct tape in some places, but it's impressive.
It could fall apart at any moment.
But it's like the duct tape is enough to keep it together. All the little patches help to keep it going.
Most recent book you read?
Most recent book I read. Right now, I am reading Anne Rice, A Vampire Story. It's about essentially vampires in New Orleans, and I think it's fitting for Halloween.
Ooh, spooky. Most recent song you listened to?
Most recent song I listened to? I may or may not be already playing Christmas music at home, so
Gotta get into the holiday spirit.
Classical Christmas, you know, not quite Frosty the Snowman.
Can you tell us a joke?
I don't know. I normally make fun of students, and that's how my jokes go. But I don't really do like off-the-cuff jokes, like a knock-knock joke.
Ooh, who's your favorite student?
Oh, there are no favorite students. Although I'll shout out to there are 4 students for a tough course now, and I've had them all 4 years. They were students between TUT 1, TUT 2, TUT 3, and TUT 4. So that's Dara, Razan, Chris, and Guille.
Oh wow.
So, I'm sorry to them.
Is that a good or a bad thing?
Well, you know, it's 4 years of being forced to listen to me. Like, you know, that's a lot of classes if you add it all up. That's a ton of hours. So
We have 4 questions left.
4 questions left. Okay.
What is your lifesaver?
My lifesaver.
Something you can't live without.
Oh, can't live without. Okay. Definitely books for sure. I love reading. I set a goal every year of reading 100 books per year.
What is your philosophy on education?
Hard work pays off. But no, having high expectations, helping students meet those with support, but really holding students to those expectations.
Anything else you'd like to say?
That's it for now.
Where are you headed off to?
I have to go run a workshop for UN Day, so Greening the Blue Youth Activism.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Have a lovely day.
You too.
Sure. As soon as we're done.